know what you can do? You can swivel on it. Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Hope everyone's doing well this evening. I'm in a mood. I don't know what mood I'm going to be in. I'm going to let it be dictated by the live community tonight. If you're not watching live, tough. I'm going to be dictated to by the live chat. But we're talking about Camavinga up for sale. We're going to talk a bit about Matic. We're going to talk about a back five. And we're going to talk about a definitive Manchester United formation change. Because whether you watch the game in the first half or the second half or both, I definitely think there is a formation change for United. And we'll talk about that. A bit about Lukaku, a bit of money coming into United. Varane, Sancho and everything else you want to talk about. It's Saturday night. Zance. I like the way you move. But yes, looking forward to this show tonight. I don't know what mood I'm in. I think I'm in a good mood. Donny and Matic look really good as HK and music. And yeah, look, all I want is, as Skunk Anansi once sang, all I want is Manchester United to play well. And I will credit, applaud, and welcome that. And I think this first half today was very, very good. But I want to talk about Camavinga because this is the headline, and I want to get into that other bit in a minute. But the headline is Camavinga, and very interesting. But you know what? I love the United Stand community. I think it's the best fan community, not only in Manchester United fandom, but in football fandom. I don't think there is a community better than this. 7 years in the making. I think it's elite. I think it's the best fan community there is. Maybe I'm a bit biased. I don't care. I think it's amazing. I think you're amazing. I think I'm amazing. I think what we've built is amazing. And we get a bit of shit from the haters because people don't like us. Some people just don't like us. So what? I don't like the one show. But we get a bit of hate. And what I'm about to deliver you tonight, I've not read anywhere. I found this information myself because we've been doing transfer news for 7 years. And I don't do it because I think, oh, that's interesting. I do it because I love it. I had Championship Manager when I was a kid, Sensible World of Soccer. I love transfers. I love football. I'm passionate about it. And I delve deep to find out about it. So this news story tonight is basically about Camavinga. It's the Camavinga transfer green light. You can take this as read. They'll probably be talking about it in the Manchester Evening News, the Daily Mail and everywhere else tomorrow morning. You're going to get it hot off the press. I've not seen it anywhere. I've searched it out myself. Manchester United have been given the green light to sign Camavinga by Florian Maurice, who is, I think is the director of football or something at Rennes. Basically what he said is, we're not going to let a player that's come through our youth system walk out of the club for free. He will either he'll either stay and sign a new contract, or he will be sold in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Camavinga, up for sale. Mic drop. Good night. Some would say, well, that's inevitable. That's well known. But if you had Ed Woodward walking out in front, look, if Man United communicated with their fans, that would be a step forward. But if Ed Woodward put a statement out tomorrow saying, we will not embarrass ourselves again by Paul Pogba walking out the door for free. He will either be sold in the next 3 weeks or he will be signing a new contract. Imagine if Man United actually did that. Maybe they should do that. But that is basically what Rennes have said. They have said that Camavinga either signs a new contract or he's being sold. We're not letting him go for free because that's not what we're going to do. So that is coming from Florian Maurice, who is something to do with Rennes. I don't think he's the CEO. He might be the director of football. But he's come out and said that. So it's a green light for Manchester United. And this builds on what we were talking about last night, about Camavinga is the only midfielder that we've really concretely been linked to by Romano and Mohamed Bahafsi and anybody of any credibility in the transfer window, in the transfer market. So Camavinga to Manchester United is a player that we've looked at and we like. Camavinga is for sale. Rennes have confirmed that twice, really. They confirmed it a couple of weeks ago as well. He's for sale. We like him. He's available for 30 million quid. I'm sat here thinking, get off the potty and do it. You know, what are you waiting for? Get off, you know, let's go. Let's go. Because he's absolutely, potentially, a superstar at 18 years of age. He can probably be anything you want him to be. Can he do Matic's job? I mean, look, I'll have that conversation. Let's get down the pub and have a glass of wine. I'll have that chat. I don't know whether he can do Matic's role. I don't know whether he can do Bruno's role. I don't know whether he can do Pogba's role. He can do, but The lad is talented. And he is a midfielder. And we do need to bring a midfielder in. What did you have for dinner tonight, Mark? Also, what should I have? I had a beef stroganoff, Christian Nichols. It was very nice. Welcome to the United Stand Members Club, Siddharth. So, look, take it as read. You're going to see it everywhere else in the next 24 to 48 hours, probably on Sky Sports in the next month, that Rennes are basically saying he's either signing a new contract or he's going at the end of the month. They're not going to let him run his contract down. Maybe we could do the same with Pogba. Maybe we could do the same with Lingard, but Rennes are going to do that. So the reality is Camavinga is probably the most likely, straightforward deal United can do. Now, he might want to go to PSG, but with Camavinga, Messi, maybe they want Pogba as well. We'll have to just wait and see. But I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting. And I think that, you know, we spoke about it last night, so I'm not going to delve into it too deep, but that is a progression. That is a football club saying he ain't running his contract down. United aren't saying that with Pogba. We're not in a situation where in, 24 days, which is August the 31st, we're not saying to Pogba and Riola, you either go or you sign a new contract. We're not. We're not saying it to Lingard either. We're like, well, we'll take a risk. Let's let him run his contract down. There is no bloody risk. He's going to run his contract down. Like, if United want any money for Pogba, you bloody better sell him in the next 3 weeks, because if you go, we'll take a risk on a new contract, he's gone. He's gone. But we'll talk about that in a minute. I quite like what Rennes are saying. We ain't letting him run his contract down. If you're at Rennes and you don't sign a new contract, you're going to bloody leave. So you can go now or you can sign a new contract. And that's what Rennes are saying. So the next 3 and a bit weeks are massive on Camavinga. Can United do the deal? Well, Romano thinks we can. Will PSG do the deal? Well, we'll have to just wait and see. But look, can be a future Kante, kids are baller, says Abda. I think the interesting thing about Camavinga, before we move on to everything else, the interesting thing about Camavinga is, and this is where the debate starts, and I haven't forgot about you. Just a private little chat here. Haven't forgot about you. You know who you are. You know who you are. You thought I was going to forget, didn't you? You thought I was just going to let it go. No. A year ago, maybe 11 months, maybe 10 months, I'm sat on this show and I'm saying Donny van der Beek will suit this team as a box-to-box midfielder. I know he's played as a number 10. I know he's played as a right midfielder, but he's 23. He's coming to the Premier League. He's going to have to adapt his game. I can't see him as a number 10. We've got Bruno. He's going to have to be a box-to-box player. Well, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the Donny cultists. I've watched him for Ajax. He's a number 10. That's what he is. Goldbridge is an idiot calling him a box-to-box midfielder. All I'm going to say is, what you saying? What you saying? If you said that Donny van der Beek can play box-to-box, it's not about me. It's about the fact that you know ball. This nonsense that he was a number 10 and he can only play as an attacking midfielder. What a load of crap. Manchester United's last 2 games against Premier League opposition, we've ran the midfield with Matic and Donny. Everton today, Wolves last game of the Premier League season. So look, what I'm about to say about Camavinga now, let me just read these super chats. How come United are only going to get 4 million for a sell on Lukaku? We'll come back to that, Jacob. United combined with Lukaku sell-on clause and sell price, says Finit. We'll come back to that. What happens to Garner if Camavinga joins? He's going on loan, Harshad. Christian Nichols, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. The interesting thing is, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Abda says, Mark, you were spot on with Donny box to box. It's not about me being right, because I'll be wrong about other stuff. Somebody showed me a tweet today where I said I think Aki's better than Bay. So, look, the thing about me is, I don't mind being wrong. But I'll also be right on some things. I think that's what life's all about. I'm going to talk to you about Camavinga now. And I'm big on Wan-Bissaka at the moment. I might be in the minority, but I'm telling you, Wan-Bissaka's the next Luke Shaw. I think in 2 years' time, people are going to be going, wow. I think Wan-Bissaka is going to be Luke Shaw in 2 years' time. I think he's a fantastic player. I'm going to talk to you about Camavinga now. Camavinga, people will tell you he can't play as a holding midfielder. I'm going to tell you he can. I'm going to tell you he can because his best attributes are his tackling, his physicality, his tenacity, and his passing. Well, hold on a minute. They look like attributes to me that he can play as CDM. We might buy him and not use him as a CDM. We might buy him and use him as a box-to-box player. PSG might turn him into a box-to-box player. He might want to be a box-to-box player. But I'm telling you now, Camavinga can run our midfield. He can. He's got the attributes to do it. His tackling is very good. His positional sense is very good. His tenacity is very good. And his passing is excellent. So he could definitely do the Matic job. Whether we're buying him to do that job, whether we're trying to buy him to do that job, I don't know. But he can definitely do it. So I wouldn't listen to anybody who goes, he's box to box. He can't play holding midfielder. Because it's the same people who said, Donny's a number 10. He can't play box to box. And he bloody well can. You know, Pogba's not really a left winger, but he can play left wing. So that's what I'd say about Camavinga. It's definitely a deal we can do. We definitely need a midfielder. I said that in my match reaction today. Let's see what happens. But he's definitely for sale. If Chelsea sign Lukaku and Kane go to City, are we favourites for Haaland next summer, says Ravi? Well, I don't really want to talk about that, Ravi, but I will just say this. No, we're not. We're not. Why wouldn't PSG go for Haaland? Why wouldn't Real Madrid go for Haaland? Why wouldn't any other club go for Haaland? It's not... The world doesn't stop and end with the Premier League. But what I would say as well is, even if we get Haaland, is that better than Greenwood being our striker? Because Greenwood's not going to go anywhere for 10 years if he becomes our striker. Haaland comes in next summer. Riola's his agent. Within 18 months, yeah, Real Madrid, we quite fancy that. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. The same people who think Donny was a number 10 are the same people who think there's no need for a DM in modern football. Brithering mouth breathers, says Mr. Glenn Johnson. Well, look, I want to talk about this. Match reaction's the place to be for the player ratings and everything like that. But one thing I did read today that I didn't pick up on the match reaction. Thanks for joining the members club, the Giant 225. Make sure you smash the like on the video, by the way. Let me just have a sip of Ribena. We changed formation today. In my opinion, we changed formation today. First half and second half. You know, we've been hearing about United are going to go to one holding midfielder. I saw enough today in both halves, and it's a positive, and I feel positive about it. I saw enough in both halves today to say to you, good people, we did change formation, and it was consistent from first half to second half. This is encouraging. It's encouraging. There is a negative, but it is encouraging. This, to me, looks like we are building for Varane. This, to me, looks like we are looking to do exactly what I've been talking about for 3 weeks. Not that. That's horrible. That's the old way. That's the McFred way. We're looking to do this. Higher up the pitch. Higher up the pitch. Higher up the pitch. Higher up the pitch. Get off, Lindelof. Get on, Varane. The way we played today looked to me like we were playing one holding midfielder. Definitely. Now, Van der Beek was dropping in, but it was more of one holding midfielder. And even when Fred came on, Pogba was pushing closer. Interestingly, watch the second half back again. Pogba went closer to Bruno than Van der Beek did and left Fred more isolated than Van der Beek left Matic, which is stupid because Matic would be more happier to be on his own. But Pogba was actually getting closer to Bruno before we moved him to the left wing. So we definitely did change position and formation in the game today. We did play differently to the way we play with McFred. We did put Matic there on his own, pulling in between the two centre-backs. At times we became a back three. Fullbacks bombed on, Matic dropped in between Lindelof and Maguire. You saw it. You know you did. You saw it. I'm not convincing you. You saw it yourself. Second half, we saw the same. Fred was dropping in between the centre-backs. Pogba pushed way beyond. Pogba was pushing too far forward, but Van der Beek did stay closer to Matic. So, you know what? We did change formation today. We didn't play the same way that we did last year with McTominay and Fred as a two. We were more of a holding midfielder. So that is a positive. And I do want to highlight that because it's true. And I'd missed it. I didn't miss it. I did. You did. I did miss it. I did miss it. Amongst a lot of positives and a few negatives, I did miss that. We did change the way we played. So I've got to say that did happen. Of course, the problem is Fred and McTominay can't play that role on their own. So if we haven't got Matic, we're in a bit of problems. Hi Mark, I missed the game due to work. How well did the team look physically since there was most of our first game back? Lawrence, we look very good. Surprisingly or not, we look physically we looked good. The Giant 225, thanks for joining the members club. Hi Mark, if we get Trippier instead of a midfielder, I think it has to be on Ollie and the coaches. What will make you Ollie out this season or not? Says Emmanuel. I mean, I respect the super chat and welcome to the members club tour. I respect the super chat, I really do, and thank you for that. But I don't know whether you saw Ricky's match reaction that I interviewed him about. What a great point he made. But for me, I was very impressed with United today, and I did see progression. And I'm the first. I'll put my hands up. I'm the first person to jump on negativity and it's not because I'm a negative person. It's because I want Manchester United to be great again. And I didn't think the tempo would be good today, and it was fantastic in the first half. I expected us to play a back six, and we didn't. So I'll call out those two positives, and they were positives today. So that was good. So I don't want to talk about when I'm going to be Ollie out, what makes me Ollie out. What I would say is, and I did say this at the end of last season, if he picks McFred in the midfield, I'm going to have a problem with it. I am. Because there's no need. Like, I thought Wolves was a brilliant performance at the end of last season. Ahmad, false nine, shows me he's ready. Donny and Matic were fantastic. Donny and Matic were fantastic today. The tempo was fantastic. The interchangeability in the Wolves game. I'd go back and watch that Wolves game, you know. I seriously would. I would go and watch that Wolves game at the end of the season. That was a Premier League game. It was Nuno's last game. And it was a decent Wolves side. Although they had a tough season, they're still a decent side. They've just been a bit, not been able to score goals. Matic and Van der Beek dominated them, and Ahmed was fantastic. So we saw Matic and Donny again. I did a tweet today. I got a bit of a stick for it, but I basically said my combinations in midfield for the game against Leeds. First choice, Matic and Donny. Second choice, Matic and Pogba. Third choice, Fred and Pogba. Fourth choice, Fred and Donny. 99th choice, McFred. I don't want them anywhere near. There's no point in ever playing those two again. They are the same player doing one person's job, and they stifle us as a football team. You have got to use Matic, Donny or Pogba in the midfield. You've got to. Two of them, ideally. I don't think you can play Donny and Pogba, so it's got to be Matic and Donny or Matic and Pogba at the moment. I just don't want to see McFred ever again. That will make me pissed off with Ollie. But, if you are an Ollie outer, I'm not going to avoid it and say that what Ricky said in his match reaction was spot on. And I didn't highlight it as well as he did in his match reaction. And I think this is the great thing about having different opinions. I spoke a lot about Martial and Greenwood and said, how many chances did we create for them today? We didn't create hardly any. And what Ricky said was, well, look at it. Bruno's free kick was a worldie. How many of those do you score a season? 2 or 3. Maguire's goal was a header. How many of those does he score a season? 2 or 3. And the other one was a keeping error. How often does that happen? So we did, obviously Delo at the end, but the 3 goals in the first half, totally deserved. We played really well, but we still didn't create many chances. That's still an area for improvement. So we mustn't get too confident about Leeds, because the goals we scored were not going to happen every game. We still need to create more chances. But I was very happy with the way we played in the first half, as I said, and I think there is reason for positivity there. But the midfield is going to be the thing. 2 set-piece goals today. Looks like hiring Ramsey was a good call. Harshid, let's not do that. Let's not talk about a pre-season game being evidence that we've recruited a good set-piece specialist. Let's do that in October. Let's have a look for some real evidence first. Also, Mark, I don't know about you, but I'd rather find a buyer for Bay and keep Twansebi. Twansebi is much better than Lindelof, says Dominic. Well, Lindelof, Twansebi's going on loan, mate. That's what's going to happen. Thank God we've got Varane. Also want to just say as well, I've got loads of things to get through tonight and get the questions in as well, so please smash a like on the video. But and I hope we do get Camavinga, because at the moment he looks like the only midfielder that we're looking at. This is not the first time I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Those fans out there that don't like Bruno? You know who they are. They're out there. For some reason, there are fans in our fan base that don't like Bruno. And there are people in our fan base that don't like Luke Shaw. And there are people in our fan base that don't like Martial and Rashford and other players. And they won't change their mind. It doesn't matter. Marcus Rashford could score a hat-trick and they'll go, good result today. Oh, he's misplaced a pass in the next game. These people out there. They might be your friends, family members. They might be people on social media. There are these fans out there that are stubborn in their dislike for players, right? I don't do it. I've had people today messaging me going, ha, you said Matic was finished and he's not. And I went, ha, I gave him man of the match with Donny. Swivel on it. Because I don't care. I'll say what I think, and then if I'm wrong, or it's not even being wrong, I'll say what I think, and if they change my mind, I'll be at the front of the queue to say they were fantastic today. I've done this twice with Matic. I said Matic in, the season just before COVID. It was like the first half of the season till Christmas, and COVID happened in March. The first half of the season, I was like, I'd rather have a bag of cement than Matic. He's shit, right? After Christmas, Matic came into the team, did really well with Fred, and then after the COVID break, did really well with Pogba. And I was like, you know what? I'm not wrong about Matic, but he's turned it round. He was crap before Christmas, but he's turned it around. I don't care. I don't hold a grudge against the player. I could be stubborn and go, no, he's not good, he's rubbish, because I want to be right. But no, he was rubbish up until Christmas, and then he played really well. Last season, Ollie picked... I don't blame myself. I actually don't even blame myself on this, because I've always known a good Matic is the best CDM we've got. But what I said all summer is, sell Matic, he's finished. Right? That's what I said. And I know I've said it. And there's you know I've said it. I've been saying all summer, sell Matic, he's finished, right? The reason I've said that is because I know Matic is a good player. But all last season, Ollie picked McFred over Matic. And what I don't understand is, I watched Matic against Wolves at the end of the season. I thought, oh, that's good. Maybe it's because it's his last game. He's found some energy. He's had 10 cans of Red Bull. I don't know. And then I've seen him again today and I've gone, hold on a minute. What is going on with Matic? Because last season, we don't pick him. It's McFred. And now I'm looking at him and going, but if he can play like he did today, why didn't we use him last year? Because he's the only holding midfielder we've actually got who knows how to do the job. Now, what I will say about Matic is, if he was 5 years younger, we don't need a midfielder. But what I will be 100% conviction with, I don't think he can play 2 games a week. I'm not convinced he can play 90 minutes. And I think that's why Ollie doesn't use him. Because I cannot believe that Michael Carrick, forget Ollie for a minute, I cannot believe Michael Carrick, who was one of the best holding midfielders we've ever had, would be sat there in meetings with Ollie going, why, hey man, I think we should be picking McFred over Matic. Matic is the closest thing we've ever had to Carrick. I can't believe all last year Carrick was going, why, hey man, let's pick McFred. Look, unless Mike Phelan and Ollie have put Carrick in a bloody cupboard with a something over his mouth, a big plaster. It doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any. It doesn't make any sense to me. We're all sat here tonight saying Matic has got to start against Leeds. Ricky's ecstatic. He's never been so. Like, I couldn't. Before we did the video with Ricky, he must have said, "I told you so 100 times," or "I'm telling you, I'm telling you." He just kept going. "I'm telling you, Mark. I'm telling you, Matic." Right? But he's right. I have no defence because I don't understand why we didn't use him last year. When you look at the way he's played today, look, he looks miles better than Fred. And I know it's a pre-season game, but he looks miles better than Fred. So he's going to be miles better than McTominay. What I don't understand is why we didn't use him last year. And I'm still going to stick to it. I'm going to trust Ollie on this. He mustn't be able to play 90 minutes at a high level anymore. Because if he can, well, he should be playing for United. But I don't think he can play 2-3 games a week. And therefore, I think we need to buy a midfielder. I saw it today. Donny and Matic are our best midfield too. Right now, Pogba's not ready yet. I think we saw from Pogba today, he's not fit, is he? He's not ready. He's only been training for a few days. But Matic and Van der Beek, if I'm ranking our midfielders at the moment, when he's fit, Pogba's the best. Don't piss about. Pogba's the best when he's fit. Matic and Donny, Fred, McTominay. That's the ranking at the moment. Last year, it was Fred, McTominay, Pogba, Matic, Van der Beek. Because Pogba was going on the left wing. So he valued Fred and McTominay ahead of Pogba. Don't care what anybody says. He did. Matic was 4th, Donny was 5th. I think right here, right now for the Leeds game, Donny and Matic are first 2. Pogba's 3rd, Fred's 4th, McTominay's 5th. And a lot of that's to do with fitness. When everyone's fit, Pogba's number 1. But you've got to, you know, I've got to sit here and say Matic is our best holding midfielder and he's got to start. But I just don't know how many games we can get out of him. And I think that's the really interesting thing. Nick Morris, thanks for the super chat. Squad rotation and early subs are key. That's why players, I don't know what you said the rest there. 660, top performance last season isn't good enough. Ollie makes too many mistakes, team selections and subs. He's shown he's not good enough, says Fisticuffs. I think we are waiting till the end of the transfer window to get a CDM at a lower price, especially with clubs around Europe folding. Well, again, Paraz, Ricky made a great point. If Matic can only play 90 minutes once a week, it doesn't matter. Because if we get a CDM at the end of the transfer window cheap, We play Leeds on Saturday. We play, I think it's Southampton or Wolves, and then Southampton or Wolves. We've only got 3 games in August, and there's a week between each 3. So as long as we get one, we can actually use Matic in August because he's got a week break between the 2. Just heard that Lingard has or could have COVID, says Roger. No, he has got it, Roger. We wish him all the best. He has got it. That's why he didn't play today. Henderson's still struggling with the after effects as well, so we wish them both well. But look, we need to get a midfielder. What I saw with United today was that what a good team we can be. And we didn't even have Sancho and Varane or Rashford. We've got to get a holding midfielder. Got to get somebody who can hold the midfield when Matic can't. I think it's so important. It's so important. And if we're not going to get one, I think we're going to struggle this season. Rodri and Fernandinho at Man City. Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic at Chelsea. Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago at Liverpool. What's the difference? We haven't got one. Everyone else has got 2 or 3. Got to go and get one. So important. The tempo of the team was dictated to by the conductor Matic today. We've got to get one. I think with Matic, he has been training a lot longer than Donny, Fred and McTominay, so a lot fitter. That might be it, Nick. That might be it. You might be spot on there. But look, Donny and Matic are on a different level to McTominay and Fred in that area, and we need to utilise them. We'll have to wait and see if he does. But I'm excited. I am excited. I think United today in the first half, I can only applaud it. We do need to create more chances, but I thought we were fantastic in the first half. And it is only pre-season, but it shocked me. It did shock me because I expected us to be off the pace because we've had no pre-season. And I didn't expect Ollie to change the formation, and he did. And I didn't expect the tempo to be quick. I was joking earlier on that when you used to go to kids' parties and it's past the parcel time, and you go, the parcel comes to you, and you go, and your mate's going, give me the bloody parcel, and you're going, because you want the music to stop on you, and you're like, that's United in possession. We hold on to it too long. You need a hot potato. You're like this. Oh, I've got the ball. Shit, you have it. Get rid of it. That's what United need to be. And we did it today. Falabami says, what was different about the formation today? The difference about the formation today was that when we play with McFred, we have 2 holding midfielders. We didn't have 2 holding midfielders today. In fact, the more attacking formation, if you watch it back, the more attacking formation was when Pogba and Fred played. Because Pogba was nowhere near Fred. For 15 minutes, Fred was on his own and Pogba was holding hands with Bruno. It didn't work, but, it was. That was the half you could really see the change. The first half, it still was a change. Matic was the holding midfielder and Donny got close to him. But it's not going to be a massive contrast. I mean, look, at the end of the day, let's use these 2 players. Look, the line was never this high this last season. But last year, you had McTominay and Fred like that, yeah? Next to each other, side to side crab football, right? Today, you had this. Matic, but Donny was close to him. There was a lot of one-touches, right? And Bruno more advanced. But if you think about Man City, is that not the same as Fernandinho and Gundogan? Or Rodri and Gundogan and Bruno's De Bruyne? You can still be close to your holding midfielder, but have a holding midfielder. The trouble with last year is it was 2 together. And Bruno gets isolated. But today, Van der Beek was closer. Pogba was a lot closer in the second half and Fred was on his own. But it worked better in the first half. But Matic was definitively the holding midfielder. Whereas last season, you couldn't tell me who the holding midfielder was. It was either Fred or McTominay, but they were both doing the same job. Harshad, thanks for joining the members club. So, look, let's see if we can build on it. But we got to get a midfielder in. I hope it's going to be Camavinga. I really, really do. Ollie spoke about Varane and Sancho. I'll give you an update on that. So Varane is isolating. Is that the word? Yeah. He's in England. He's isolating. So he can't have his medical until the earliest next Tuesday. So I think Varane will be an official United player on Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I just don't see him being involved against Leeds. Certainly not starting. And if you're a centre-back, there's no point. There's no point. You either start or you don't. You're not going to bring Varane on with half an hour to go. It's not a position, is it? So I think Varane's out of the Leeds game no matter what. Medical mid next week, but he's out of the Leeds game. Ollie said about Sancho, he will train on Monday, hopefully can be involved for the Leeds game. It's different when you're an attacker. As an attacker, you can come off the bench with half an hour to go. As a centre-back, it's pointless. You either start or you don't. So maybe Varane's on the bench, but you're not going to use him, are you? But as an attacker, you will. So maybe we can get Sancho on the bench. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about these two players, by the way. I mean, I'm very focused on the midfield. Of course I am. But I am very excited about those two players because we didn't see them today. We were so impressive in the first half. I thought Dan James was a bit Dan James. But you think about it. You know, you take Dan James out and you put Luke Shaw, you put Sancho on the wing. You take Lindelof out, who did okay today, and you put Varane in. That team's so much better. But you still need the conductor. I don't think people understand that. They're like, oh, imagine that team with Varane and Sancho in it. And I'm like, yeah, I can imagine it. But imagine McFred's in the midfield. You still need your conductor. It's so important. Yeah, I think it's going to be very, 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 very interesting to see how United build out over the next few weeks. And Rome wasn't built in a day. Leeds a massive game next week, and we're going to have to try and beat Leeds without our best team for very, very different reasons. Just on Lukaku's joining Chelsea. I'm not throwing her under the bus, but we've got a group chat, and Beth said, oh, I'm so happy that we bought the Lukaku's gone to Chelsea because we've got some money to spend now. And I said to Beth, it's only 4 million. And then the group chat were going, no, we're still owed 40 million by Inter Milan. I said, we're a business, we're not a bank. United have spent that 40 million already. They might not have it, but it's already in the books. That's what we got for Lukaku. Maybe there are payments overdue, but we still registered that money into the shareholders that we got for Lukaku. We get 4 million from Lukaku. We get 4% out of 100 million. So we're going to get 4 million. That's what's going to happen with that. So if anybody's thinking anything different, that's what we're going to get. Mark, should United go for Barella, Brozovic or Camavinga as a midfield option? I mean, there's a story floating around. Apparently, it's not true. There was talk that Inter Milan need to sell all their players, but apparently it's not true. It's a scam. So I wouldn't believe that. But look, Camavinga, Bissouma, Ruben Neves, I'll be happy. I've got to be honest. I'm going to say this right now. I watched the Leicester Man City games there, did a watch along on Matt's Football. Thank you if you joined me. And I was watching the Leicester game and they brought... Look, Grealish is a superstar player. Obviously, you're watching Grealish come on for City. But I was watching Leicester and I saw Samari come on, who we've mentioned on this channel for a couple of years. I saw Daka come on, who we haven't mentioned on this channel ever. And I watched them and I was like, God... Leicester's scouting so good. That Samari's going to be another player. I guarantee in a year's time, everyone's going to want Samari. Liverpool, United fans are all going to want him. We could have had him, by the way. We've been talking about him on here for 2 years. It's Fabinho all over again. We were talking about Fabinho 2.5 years before Liverpool bought him. United should be fucking watching the United stand a bit. Not me, the community. Like, we talk about these players because people are watching football all the time. I was more impressed with Samari and Daka, not because Leicester won, it was a penalty, but I just looked at it and I went, like, what are Leicester... I've been thinking for 18 months, what are Leicester going to do when Vardy retires or gets a bit slower? Oh, I know what they're going to do. They've got bloody Daka. He's a carbon copy of Vardy. He can finish and he's fast. He's very fast. What are Leicester going to do if Ndidi gets injured again? They've gone and bloody got Samari, haven't they? You know, and I'm sat there and I'm looking at it and I'm going, why? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Why don't they listen? You've been talking about Samari and Fabinho for years before they ever bloody moved. Why don't United look at these sort of deals? And I'm going to tell you something now. We won't do it. Bissouma at United, I guarantee you, in a month you'd be going, what a buy. What a player. He can run the midfield. He can pass. I'm telling you. I reckon Bissouma can do Matic's job. I really do. I do. I know he's not a CDM. He's more box to box. But he can play CDM. I think Bissouma is the bloody player. I really do. And we won't get him. We're not even bloody looking at him. I'm convinced. And he'll go to Liverpool or he'll go to Arsenal. I'll guarantee he'll be a good player. I think Basuma could do it. I'm not saying Neves can't do it, and I'm not saying Camavinga's a bad signing, but we've never been linked to bloody Basuma, and I think he can do it. I do. Lukaku joining Chelsea means Arsenal aren't getting Latoro, says Harshad. I don't talk about Arsenal, mate. You may as well talk to me about Southampton. I ain't bothered. I would take Ruben Neves or Ndidi. I mean, Ndidi's too good. Jack Lynch, we're not getting Ndidi. You may as well talk about Rice. We're not getting them. I'm telling you now, Ricky, though, Basuma would be great. See the countdown on the Twitter page of United today. It says 4 will be the announcement of Varane. Proud day. India won first gold in javelin. Yeah, big shout out to India. I keep being told this. I've really not paid any attention to the Olympics this year. I think it's the time zone, but I know we've got a lot of Man United fans from India, and we get a lot of viewers from India. I just want to say, well done. You know, sometimes we are a community, and we do share in each other's success. I like saying happy birthday. I like it when people tell us that they're getting married and stuff. And I like the fact that if you're Indian, you've won your first gold medal in the Olympics for that. Javelin, not darts. So well done. Well done. Congratulations to India. And I'm very, very happy with you. I'm very, very happy for you. So well done. Remember, Mark, Bangladesh won the series against Australia. Please shout out. Big up to Bangladesh. I'm just shouting out nation achievements now. Big shout out to Bangladesh and Pakistan. Don't want you to feel out of it. Congratulations to India, says Ihab. I'm trying to think of any other countries that border India. Bangladesh borders India. Geography bridge, I'm pretty sure. Pakistan definitely does. But no, look, it's fantastic to hear about that. Well done. And I'm very sad. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the Olympics, but I've enjoyed the show tonight. Make sure you smash a like on video. Chuck us some questions. And I just want to thank you all as well, because I did say at the start of the show, I don't know which way my mood's going to go, and I said I would be dictated to by the chat. You've actually pushed me into a positive. Well done. You have. I do feel positive. I feel good. Last couple of days, I haven't felt good about United. I've felt anxious, worried, concerned. I actually feel quite good tonight. I do. I did see a different formation. I didn't think I'd see that. In the first half, I saw high tempo. I didn't see that. I absolutely, I'm going to say this with total and utter 100%. First game of the season is about fitness. McTominay hasn't played. Fred doesn't look fit. Pogba doesn't look fit. I know Pogba's our best midfielder. I know it. But Matic and Donny look the fittest midfielders we've got. They've got to start. They've got to start against Leeds. They have to start. They played the best on the pitch, and they're the fittest two we've got. They've got to start. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but there. I wish Matic was 5 years younger. Yeah, you and me both. Do you think Van der Beek will start? I don't actually think Ollie's going to use Van der Beek. I really don't. But every time I see him, I think he looks one of the best players we've got. But for some reason, I don't know. I don't know why. I just don't get it. I got a lot of stick on Twitter today because when Donny came off at half time, I was like, that's just Ollie taking him off so we forget about him for next week. And people were like, oh yeah, Ollie takes players off because he doesn't want them to be thought about. Well, Southgate did it with Grealish. But I don't know whether Ollie... I just don't think Ollie rates him. That's my point. You know, the tweet hit the mark because people are like, oh, as if he does that. But I tell you what, who's wrong? Am I wrong to say that Ollie subbed him off because he doesn't want him to start next week? Maybe. But am I wrong to say Ollie doesn't rate him? I'm not. He ignored him most of last season. And people will go, he wasn't ready. It's because he wasn't ready. Bullshit. Bullshit. I saw Donny van der Beek play against Newcastle last October, and I saw him play fantastic. I saw him play just before Christmas. He was fantastic then. I saw him play against Wolves at the end of the season. He was fantastic then. I saw him in January play against Watford. He was fantastic then. And I've seen him today. Fantastic. I don't see this not ready bullshit. I think he's been ready from day one. I just don't think Ollie uses him enough. I'm not buying into this bullshit that he wasn't ready last year or he's bulked up. I saw him play as well as he did today numerous times last season. handful of times because he never got picked. I just don't think he rates him. I don't think he rates Dalot either. And I think Dalot is far better value for money than Trippier. Trippier's 31 in September. We're talking of paying £30 million for Trippier at 31. No one's talking about this nonsense, by the way. Trippier for 15 million, yeah. Trippier for 20 million, forget it. He's 31 next month. Bollocks to that. I think Dalot's a very good player, and so does Ancelotti. And I think Van der Beek's a very good player, and so does half of the bloody decent managers in world football. I think Donny should be playing a lot more, and I think we should keep Dalot. But I'm not the manager, am I? I'm not. It's evident that Ollie doesn't rate Donny, says Junior. Last season is proof. He continued to play McFred when Donny was free. Look, next Saturday against Leeds is huge. It's huge for many reasons, but if he doesn't go with Matic and Donny, and he goes with Pogba and Fred, or he goes with McTominay and Fred, he's going on last season. He's not going on form. He's not. Matic and Donny are clearly the two in-form players and the fittest players. How can Fred, McTominay and Pogba be more in form than Matic and Donny when they've got no game time? All they've got is training this week. Donny and Matic were the two man of the match today, and they're the fittest two we've got, and they're in form. They've got to start against Leeds. I don't think they will. But tell me, what would Pep do? What would Klopp do? They would start Donny and Matic. 100%. Klopp and Pep would pick Donny and Matic because they're the best two players at the moment, and they're the most informed players, and they're the fittest players. I don't know whether Ollie will do it. I think Ollie has shown, and look, this is where maybe he will do it, because you know what, today the formation did change, and maybe he is turning a new leaf. But if it's last season Ollie, he's going to pick McTominay and Fred, or Fred and Pogba. But for me, he's got to pick Matic and Donny. They're fit, they're in form, they're the best two we've got. And look, Fred and McTominay and Pogba, they could have a really good week training, but they ain't got any games. They've got no game time. Start with Matic and Donny. If it doesn't work, you've got them as a backup. I called the show 4 years ago when we lost to Fenerbahce 2-1. We discussed how badly we needed a CDM. Maybe one day, Mark. Karen took the kids. We do need a CDM. We started with that. We do. I don't want to see McFred start ever again. Alpha Gaming. I don't want to see them start ever again. But I would clarify this. People jump on the McFred negativity and make it about Fred and McTominay. The clue is in the name. McFred is McTominay and Fred. It's not about Fred. It's not about McTominay. It's about McTominay and Fred. McFred. I don't want to see McFred playing ever again. I don't mind seeing Fred, and I don't mind seeing McTominay. I wouldn't sell either of them. I've always said that. I wouldn't sell them. I think Fred and McTominay are John O'Shea, Tom Cleverley, Anderson, Phil Neville. You know, you need those sort of players. You do need them. Over the course of a season, you need them. I've got nothing against Fred and McTominay as bench players who play every now and again. I just never want to see the pair of them play together in our midfield again. I can't stand them. McFred, get in the bin. Fred and McTominay, you're very welcome. You're part of the squad. I just don't want to see them play again. But idiots, immature twats, jump on McFred and go, oh, he's always on about McFred. He's always on about McFred. Well, maybe if you were more intelligent, you might understand what I'm talking about. We've got Pogba, we've got Matic, we've got Donny van der Beek, and we need to sign a midfielder. Why would I pick McTominay and Fred? McFred. I don't mind one of them. I don't want to ever see them again together because McTominay and Fred are not as good as Southampton's midfield. Romu and Ward-Prowse are better than McTominay and Fred. And Southampton might get relegated this year. So I don't want to see them together ever. But I wouldn't sell either of them. I just don't want to see them together. Simple as that. That's all it's all about. Alpha Gaming, thanks for the super chat. But look, let's see what happens with Camavinga. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm in a positive mood. I think United go and get a midfielder. Of course, what I must just say, and it dropped into my head, if we keep Matic, we keep Donny, we keep McTominay, we keep Fred, we keep Pogba. We're not buying a midfielder. It just dropped into my head. I should have said it at the start. We keep them 5. We're not going to buy a midfielder, are we? We know we've got a sell to buy. We're not going to buy a midfielder if we've got them 5 players. Would you sell Matic at the moment? No. We're not going to sell McTominay and Fred. I wouldn't sell Donny. We're not going to sell Pogba. We ain't going to buy a midfielder, are we? I've just realised it, because we're not going to sell a player to buy a midfielder. Matic, Camavinga, Fred can rotate and fill that gap. Omka, thank you for the super chat. Hi Mark, enjoying the show. Great job as always. Anything on Rashford's surgery? Also, is Cavani back? Yeah, I think Cavani's back on Monday. Rashford, see you in October. Get the recovery that you need. Thanks everyone for watching. Really enjoyed the show tonight. Weirdly, we've had like 12,000 people watching, so everyone obviously needed a bit of United. We're back in the morning at 10 a.m. for the latest United news. Thanks everyone for watching. Really enjoyed the show. Fantastic. And just remember the Camavinga story. Nobody else has even realised that yet. So let them catch up. Thanks for watching. Speak to you in a bit.